Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Daily. I'm Jason. Just wanted to touch base with you. I'm absent Clay today. He has some other things going on, but I wanted to get this out to you. If you haven't already heard, the Supreme Court has ruled in the favor of veterans 7-2. That's a big deal. This ruling is going to absolutely impact potentially, from what the numbers say, up to 1.7 million veterans. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe, share with a friend, all that good stuff. Help Clay and I to increase this channel's reach. Look, together we can get the word out to more and more of us. We've been in the dark way too long with everything that can benefit us, so this is how we can collectively work together. Now, this ruling, that's my rooster stand. For those that don't know, I have a rooster. I had what I thought was 4 hens. Turns out I have 3. So anyway, that's Stan. You'll hear him in the background. The ruling from the Supreme Court was regarding the usage of both Montgomery GI Bill and post 9/11 GI Bill. Now, if you remember, thanks, Stan. If you remember, during your time in service, if you happen to be in that kind of funky window, you were told you had to choose between the two benefits. Now, what happens is that if you were to have enrolled into Montgomery GI Bill, you remember you had to pay that $100 per month, and you had to serve for 3 years active duty. Once those two things had passed, you were eligible for this Montgomery GI Bill, which would pay out up to 48 months of tuition. Now, then comes post 9/11 GI Bill. Post 9/11 GI Bill requires 3 years of active duty service, and you're basically bought into that system. Now, you were told to choose. Now, and I'm not going to dive into all of it and read an article here, but I just wanted, again, to bring it to your awareness. The situation at hand that took this all the way to the Supreme Court was a gentleman, last name Rudsill, Jim Rudsill, who was in the Army, got out, he was utilizing his post 9/11, utilized his 36 months. He was a smart guy, did some research, and he didn't see anything that prohibited him specifically from obtaining an additional 12 months of Montgomery GI Bill in this situation. So as he looked, he couldn't find anything specific. He took it to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court agreed that although there is a federal cap, not just for any educational benefits that are benefit-wise from the federal government, there is a cap of 48 months. But there's nothing that's barring the usage of 2 separate bought into education benefits. So if you, for example, did your 3 years or more of active duty and paid your $100 per month for your Montgomery GI Bill, and then subsequently were eligible for post 9/11 and did another 3 years of active duty, well, now you're qualifying for both. Now, granted, your cap is still that 48 months. So the Supreme Court's basically saying that you can go in and utilize your 36 months of post 9/11, then you could follow that up with 12 months of your Montgomery GI Bill. Now, again, this is really important information for those of you out there, because what could it do? It could end up landing you a better job. It can end up, increasing your abilities to get promoted, whatever, right? If you're going through to some sort of an educational program in order to further your career. Now, let me put this out there to you. For those that are still hanging on, I appreciate it. There are approximately somewhere around 17 or 18 million veterans in the United States, of which only about maybe less than 30%, we'll say 28%-ish, are utilizing VA compensation. Okay, VA compensation, this is kind of like a little public service announcement at this point. The fact that the number is so low is amazing, and there's a whole bunch of different issues to why the numbers are so low for the utilization of disability compensation. And some of it is just the words, right? Disability makes you think that you have to have a physical ailment that is so bad to where you have to hobble from your car to the grocery store. So that's the first kind of big issue, I think. The bottom line is that if you are not service connected for any conditions, you might want to look at doing that. The best thing to start with is order your service treatment records if you do not have them. Even if you do have them, I always suggest just order them anyway, because there might be something that you've missed. So you can order you can order those records, your service treatment records, medical records. Stan is right outside this wall. There he is. He's excited about it. So the form you want to use is SF180. SF180. I think of it like a circle, right? So 360 degrees in a circle, halfway, looking straight back is 180. So you're looking back to get your records. So SF180. Utilize that form, order your records, thumb through them. The big thing that people need to understand with the idea of service-connected disability compensation, money, right, is, look, what you have here is an opportunity to essentially be compensated for any ailment that you may have that you can trace back to manifesting during your time in service, as long as that condition is diagnosable really and has some sort of chronic or lasting effects. Okay, to have a successful claim, Stan loves when I talk VA stuff. So to have a successful claim with the VA, you need to have three things, essentially. You need to have, one, your time in service. That gives you a window of opportunity. Two is you need to have that diagnosed condition. Self-diagnosis doesn't count. You need a diagnosed condition. Third, you need to have a nexus, a link between that condition and your time in service. Okay, so you need to somehow prove to the VA that your condition manifested during service. Now, two examples that I like to give here, because most people understand, look, if I got injured in the military, obviously I'm going to get service connected for that, you would think. So I like to give a couple examples that are outside of that window that maybe just open up the mind a little bit. You can be service connected and receive monthly compensation for things like migraine headaches. That rate's as high as 50%. You can be rated for GERD, gastroesophageal reflux disease. That's bad heartburn. You could be rated for that. That rating currently is as high as 60%. However, after May 19th, the highest rating, although they're changing the rating schedule, in my opinion, might be a little more difficult to get there for a lot of folks, but they're raising the maximum rating up to 80%. So, also, you can get rated for things like motor tics. So if you have kind of a twitch that's uncontrollable, right, a motor tic, you can get rated for that. You can get rated for degenerative disc disease, lumbar strains, right? So the list goes on and on. I mean, there are a ton of conditions out there that you can get rated for. So look into it if you're not service connected. And with that, hey, we really thank you for watching the channel very much. Sorry Clay couldn't make it. Have a great one. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.